Hi. So, as you can probably tell by me not uploading a new Should You Play for 9 months, I haven't been very productive lately. In fact, I've mostly been busy with spending my weekends in bed, in an attempt to forget the fact that I'm living a disgraceful life and in general just being a huge waste of oxygen. Luckily, in the last few weeks, I've been able to crawl out of the fortress of despair that is my bed, rediscovered the joy of gaming and decided to check out some of the games that I've had on my backlog for a while now. Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action was one of the games I played and it's honestly been on my mind ever since, so I thought why not talk about it in a Should You Play? The first review I actually read of this game was on an image board. Generic, no gameplay weeb shit, praised only by pathetic, perma-virgin weeaboo waifu fab. That's a bad word. But it does sound like a game that's right up my alley. Valhalla, or alternatively just waifu bartending, is a cyberpunk visual novel with a very unique gameplay mechanic. Instead of being confronted with dialogue options like you are in most other visual novels, you decide the outcome of a conversation with the drinks you serve your customers. You play as Jill, a young bartender at a bar called Valhalla, and it's your job to serve all the different customers that come here. The customers react to whatever drink you give them. If you serve a big drink or something else with a lot of alcohol, for example, the customer will likely get drunk, and you might hear different dialogue than if you gave them something with less alcohol. Also, if a customer asks for a manly drink and you serve them something girly or just completely different, they'll probably not be very happy. Reading the different dialogues that you can get by serving certain people certain drinks was one of the things I really enjoyed about this game. This already leads me to the next point, the wide variety of characters. No matter what you're looking for, cat girls, dogs in suits, or sentient robot sex workers, this game has got it all. Everyone in this game feels unique and has got their own personality. Getting to know your customers is a lot of fun, and figuring out that that one guy who you initially thought is a huge asshole actually has a fairly tragic backstory is very interesting. Something else I love about this game is the world building. Every day you can read the news and an idol's blog, and you can check Danger You, which is basically this game's version of 4chan's B-board. Just a lot less fucked up and just a lot less terrible in general. While speaking with your customers, you learn a lot about the city and world you're in. I personally am a big fan of that because all this world building makes me feel like I actually am in Glitch City, serving drinks to all these different people coming into the bar. I'm aware that all the details about the world might come off as boring to some people though. At one point, for example, Jill talks about a real estate company in great detail. Even though I might have enjoyed reading about that, somebody else might think it's completely unnecessary information and be bored out of their mind. There's also a lot of references to all kinds of stuff. Wrestling, anime, and pop culture in general. If you're a Simpsons fan, for example, you'll definitely recognize some things taken straight out of the cartoon. The art style of the game is amazing. Sure, you probably spend like 90% of your time in the bar looking at the exact same background, but that doesn't mean that the character sprites aren't some delicious eye candy. Just look at Dorothy being drunk. Look at her. Isn't she goddamn adorable? Now that I've talked about the art, it's time I talk about the music, and goddamn, that soundtrack is good. You get to choose what songs play while you work at the beginning of every shift, and there's some really great songs to choose from. You'll quickly figure out what your favorites are and keep coming back to them. Now that I've completed the game, I find myself listening to the soundtrack quite a lot recently. It's just so good. Even though I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I first got this game, I can't deny that I was quite surprised at how long it actually is. I expected it to be a couple hours long at most, but my first playthrough ended up taking me around 12 hours. And fuck, those were some damn enjoyable 12 hours. The replayability of the game is really great as well. There are 6 different endings that you can get. Sure, you can get them all in one playthrough, but if you really want to see all the different dialogues the customers have available, you better get back in there and play the game again. And again, and again. This might sound tedious to some, but I'm currently on my 3rd playthrough and I'm still not bored of this game and its amazing characters. To summarize everything I've said so far, Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action is a beautiful visual novel with intriguing characters, amazing music, interesting gameplay, and phenomenal writing. I don't think I've enjoyed a game as much as I enjoyed this in a long time, and it's taken a very special place in my heart, so I know that I'll keep coming back to it again and again. I might have just finished the game recently, but that absolutely doesn't stop me from hopping right back into it. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm not desperately craving new content to feed my need for escapism with though. Seriously, please. I need more. I mean, we've got a lot of content here, but that's not really enough for me, you know? I'm kinda desperate for more here. Sorry about that. I think I've made it obvious what the conclusion of this video will be by constantly praising this visual novel, but either way. Should you play Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action? Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely.